Hello, everybody. It's me, Ben. I am here live. Welcome to another episode of Have at It, episode 34. Now, you're wondering, well, why was I playing the countdown thing three times? Was it because I wanted to play a cruel joke on you guys? No, actually, I had to share this show on some other platforms real quick before we got the show started. So, as you know, this is Have at It. This is talking about anything and everything. So, what is going on tonight? It is Friday night. Um, we're here in Las Vegas. It is really, really pouring rain. Um, that's good and bad. Good thing is it's nice to have rain out here in Las Vegas because we don't get it very often. But the bad thing is it's coming in a huge, huge wave. Um, as you know, Hurricane Hillary is on the Pacific Ocean right now. It's supposed to be coming to mainland tomorrow around the California area. It's not really going to hit Nevada, but we're going to have the heavy rain and the aftermath from that. So, yeah, it is kind of a big deal for those out there in Las Vegas and in California on the West Coast, Southern California. Stay safe. Whatever supplies you have, use them up. Like I went to the store tonight to get stuff for the week. Just to be safe. I mean, I don't see the hurricane coming to Las Vegas. I mean, you never know, but I don't see it making it that far. But if you're in the California area, just be careful out there. Stay in if you have to. You know, uh, don't go out if it's not necessary. So just stay safe and watch the show or watch YouTube or Netflix or anything. Like, just bundle up and enjoy the weekend if you don't have to go anywhere. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, what do you want to talk about? We talk about beer. I needed one of these, especially after today. Busy day at work. So I need one of these or more than that. So, um, talk about football, NFL. As you know, preseason's back. It is underway. We're in week 2 of preseason. Um, and you're thinking, well, it should be week 3, right? Because, well, the Jets and Browns, they played the Hall of Fame game. I wouldn't consider that, you know, week 1 because only 2 teams played. That's all. But so this is really like week 2. Um, so far, it's been very interesting. Um, I've been watching Hard Knocks, the New York Jets. It's been quite a show. It just you get to really see what a I'm going to be honest, what a prick Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, just his personality, his demeanor. I mean, it just would turn anybody off, right? I mean, who'd want to be teammates with this guy? Now, I respect the hell out of him as a football player. The guy has been one of the best quarterbacks in his generation. But he's certainly no Brady. He's certainly no Peyton Manning or uh, whoever you want to name. He would probably be in the top 4 or 5 in the last 20 years. I say that because, the guy's only won one Super Bowl. He's only been to one Super Bowl. And I would say the latter part of his career so far, he's not won many playoff games. So, the Jets are really hoping that this guy can turn the fortunes around of a franchise that have had a lot of misfortunes. A lot of losing seasons lately. A lot of, they really haven't been like relevant since I would say the late 2000s, early 2010s when they had Hall of Famer Darrelle Revis. They had, Rex Ryan as their head coach, and they've had one of the best defenses in the league at that particular point in time. The problem was they just couldn't score enough points. You had Mark Sanchez as your quarterback. What does that tell you, Mr. Butt Fumble? But yeah, ever since then, they had LaDainian Tomlinson for a cup of coffee, and um, yeah, but it just hasn't been the same. This team has just had not very many good seasons. As a Bucks fan, Todd Bowles is our head coach. He was the head coach of the New York Jets. Um, that didn't turn out very well, but you know, it, now you got Robert Saleh there. He's was with the San Francisco 49ers. He was on that Super Bowl run the Niners had back in 2019. Jets hired him 2020, or I think it was 2020 or 2021. I forget. I think it's his third year with the Jets, but there's just a lot of pressure on Robert Saleh, especially bringing in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, trading everything to get him. He has the defense now. Can the offense step up? Zach Wilson didn't pan out, as they hoped. Being a top pick for the Jets a couple of years ago, but it's not too late for Zach Wilson. I mean, he can at least learn from Aaron Rodgers. He could sit there for a year or two, but you just wonder. I mean, is Zach Wilson going to get the opportunity again? Maybe not with the Jets, maybe with another team, but now you got Aaron Rodgers here, and to me, just wait and see. That's all I can say. Just wait and see, because I feel like part of it's maybe because of the Jets, with their fortunes and everything, no matter what they do. But then part of me says, with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's no spring chicken. The guy's 38, 39 years old. Yeah, Tom Brady did it at 43, 44. But how many Tom Bradys are there? There's nobody like Tom Brady. The guy kept in great shape. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers doesn't keep himself in good shape. He does, but he's no Tom Brady. So, and he doesn't have the Tom Brady like work ethic, I don't think. I mean, Tom Brady, he had that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant work ethic. Aaron Rodgers, can he motivate a team? Can he do that? He seems like on Hard Knocks, he seems like he could joke around with you, have fun. But again, you got the cameras on him. HBO or Max, they have the cameras on him all the time, at a lot of the time. So we don't really know what he's like outside, when the cameras are not rolling on him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here with this team. There's a lot of frustration I'm hearing. This week the Jets and Bucks, they had joint practices. A lot of rumors that the Bucks defense was dominating the Jets offensive line, and Trey Palmer, the rookie for the Bucks, wide receiver, got the best of Sauce Gardner. So that's pretty cool. I've seen the video of that, by the way. And that'll be good too, because he may be our third receiver, or number 3, because with the injury to Russell Gage, which was devastating, by the way. I mean, it's just such bad luck, second year in a row. This is a much worse injury, with the knee injury, the torn patella. So we wish him the best, obviously, speedy recovery. But Trey Palmer's impressed, and he could be that number 3 guy. Maybe the Bucks go out and look for a veteran wide receiver. That's possible, but anyway, I'll talk more about that when we talk about my Bucks on Let's Buck with Ben. Should be doing that show this weekend. I'll give you more details on that. Stay tuned. But anyway, back to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to name them, the champs yet. They got to prove it to me. And also you got to remember, look at the division they're in. You got Buffalo. There's still some Super Bowl aspirations for them. Although I think that window kind of is just slightly closing a little bit, especially with the issues, with Stephon Diggs and the Bills. The way last season didn't pan out, they lost to the Bengals in the divisional round. So they're looking to, get back at it. let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. Tua, can he stay healthy? That's the big question. They got the receivers. You got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. They got an offense, but can that offensive line help Tua stay on his feet? And can Tua, not make so many, take so many risks when he's, got the ball in his hand? And don't forget, in the Patriots, look, they signed Zeke Elliott this week. It's an interesting signing. He's probably got a little bit more in the tank, so we'll see what he can do. So this division is just stacked. It's all four of these teams. I know a lot of people are probably thinking the Patriots aren't going to do very well, but with a running back like Zeke Elliott, if he can, grasp the playbook pretty quickly and work his ass off there, and he could help that offense. He could help Mac Jones, and and to me, Mac Jones, this is pretty much it for him. I mean, if he doesn't play well this year, they may be looking at another quarterback. It could be looking at Bailey Zappi, perhaps. But yeah, look, I mean, for this division, it's wide open in my opinion. And most people probably say the Bills are still the favorite, and that's fine. I respect that, and I understand that. Look, they're still very good defensively. You still got Josh Allen. Doug McDermott's a great coach, but you got to wonder about Doug McDermott. They've just haven't quite got to where they need to be. You wonder if Doug's one of those coaches where he's like a Dungy, where like Dungy Bucks, when he can only take a team so far. Maybe that's Doug McDermott. I don't know. But, Dungy won a Super Bowl, though, a few years later with the Colts. So, whether Doug McDermott does it in Buffalo or somewhere else, he's still a great coach. But you just wonder, what's not getting them over the top? Could it be Josh Allen? Could it be something else? We'll see how that plays out. But going back to the Jets, I mean, this is, you got Aaron Rodgers. Great. You brought a lot of his receivers, Randall Cobb. Great. But that does not mean that this team is going to win a Super Bowl. I got to see more. And right now, it's not looking good. Again, it's Hard Knocks. The camera's going to focus on certain things. But, if what I'm hearing from Bucks training camp is what they're putting out there, I mean, they were pretty much manhandling the Jets this week. So, hey, I mean, what does that tell you? Could it mean that the Bucks defense is as good as we think it is? I think so. Or are the Jets maybe not as good on the offensive line as they hoped for? Or it could be both, So it'll be interesting. Again, I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. I don't claim to be. I think he's a prick, but but I do respect him. He's a good quarterback. I just need to see more. We play him tomorrow night, Bucks and Jets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It is in MetLife Stadium. So they've had time to get used to each other. And today, I guess they didn't have a joint practice because I guess the Jets didn't want to practice or something. So the Bucks had to move over to the Giants headquarters, I believe, if I'm reading that right. So it's a weird situation. And I can't wait till this Tuesday's Hard Knocks because the Bucks are going to be on there. They're going to be on there. You're going to see the fight on there with Levante and, I mean, something Levante never gets into it with anybody. They must have said something to him really bad, or I heard one thing about perhaps like in 2013 when the Bucks played the Jets, Levante had they called a hit laid out of bounds with like 30 seconds left on Geno Smith. The Jets got a first down. They were able to run the clock down and they kicked the field goal to win the game. And, it was a questionable call. I looked at that play again. He did do it. It was the right call, and even Levante admitted that. He was like, so maybe that, those memories came back or something, somebody said that, reminded them or something. Who knows? But yeah, you must have done something to piss Levante off. He doesn't just go out there and fight. I mean, I could see if it was like a Ryan Jensen. He wasn't even there this week, by the way. Or like a Devin White. I could see that. But Levante, it's very unusual. So, but anyway, yeah. Hard Knocks this Tuesday night. If you have Max, I should say, watch it. You know, we'll be on there. So I'm excited to see it too. I'm excited to see the game tomorrow night, by the way. I know I'm talking a lot of Buck stuff. You know, I should save it for my show this weekend, but we're playing the Jets and we're talking about the Jets. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about the asshole that is him. And, you know, so hopefully, just me personally, if you're a Jets fan out there, I'm sorry, but yeah, I hope. Come on, I really hope we get at least 1 or 2 sacks on Aaron Rodgers. I really do. I just want to see it. You know, see Devin White just lay the wood to him. Vita Vea lay the wood to him. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I think so. Oh, looks like we got some comments here tonight. That's cool. Let's see. What do we got here? All right. Christopher Cole, thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Man, how you doing tonight, sir? Good evening. Christopher Cole watched the Rays get beat. Lots of laughs. Oh, man. Man, Christopher, I feel bad, man. All this stuff this week, you know, with the Wander Franco thing. I'm not. I was debating, should I really talk about this? Look, we don't know the whole story. I mean, the media, they're saying there's now 2 underage girls. If so, I mean, this is bad. This is bad, dude. I mean, I don't think he's playing again this year. And if the cases are true, let's remember these are, you know, media, and this is reports. So we don't know for sure, but MLB is doing their investigation, and we just have to wait and see. If I had to predict, he's going to be out for the year, and he may not play in Major League Baseball again. That's just my opinion. Yeah, it's not good. Either way, this is not good. Even if he gets cleared of this, it still really puts a damper on the Rays. You know, they're going to be asked questions about it. The media is going to go after him. And right before the playoffs start, too. Think about it. We're in August right now. We're in the middle of August. Like, we're getting down to the final month of the season, and they're still, in contention to win a division and have the best record in the American League and maybe in baseball. The Baltimore Orioles, I know they're a couple games ahead of them right now, but there's still time for the Rays to, get back into it. But they did have another injury to Shane McClellan, I think his name is, the pitcher for the Rays. He's out for the year. That sucks, I mean, so it's just been tough for the Rays. I mean, this first half of the year, Christopher Cole, and again, thank you for tuning in. It's been, they had a good start, and then all of a sudden it's just injuries, and then the whole Franco thing. I mean, it's just, it's a long season still. There's still time, but it's just unfortunate that this kind of stuff happens, and hopefully the Rays can bounce back. There's time left. I still think they're going to make the playoffs, but you just wonder how far they're going to go. They didn't, from what I understand, didn't really make too many moves before the trade deadline, but I don't know. We'll see how they do. I'm interested to see what happens down the stretch. I know we got football that's going to dominate, the sports landscape, and that's fine. But I'm a Dodgers fan too, and we're like on a roll. Well, our winning streak came to an end last night. We won last night. But we got the Marlins tonight. So we'll see what happens. It's fun. This is going to be a lot of fun going down the stretch. Scott Taylor first. Thank you for tuning in, Scott. Jets ain't winning nothing without an offensive line. I agree. And they're not very good, Chris. I've been scouting them all week. They've been trying to Jets, I should say, been trying to contact the Packers about getting Aaron Rodgers' old buddy David Batarki. Did I say that right? I don't know, but it's one of their offensive linemen. They want to make a trade for him. Well, come on. If you're the Packers, come on, man. You already took Aaron Rodgers away from us. Why do we need to do another deal with you? We got a lot of picks from you. Okay, why do we need to work with you again? I wouldn't do it. I'd be spiteful if I'm the Packers. Be like, yeah, fuck you. We already gave you Aaron Rodgers, bitch. So no, we're not going to do you any more favors. Okay, come on. Scott Taylor, where's the StreamYard link? Oh, Scott, I keep telling you, man. Read the post. I put it in there in the comments section before showtime. Okay, it's there now. It's in the post on my announcement on the pinned post. You'll find it there. Christopher Cole, Belichick to the Bucks next year. Oh, really? Bill Belichick? Oh, come on. No, I don't see it. Well, we did get Tom Brady, but I mean, I think Bill Belichick's going to retire before he coaches anywhere else. I don't see it, but you never know. I mean, we got to see how Todd Bowles does this season. I mean, this is a big year for him. I'm not the biggest Todd Bowles fan as a head coach. Now, as a defensive coordinator, hell yeah, he's a great defensive coordinator. I just get too much Lovey vibes from Todd Bowles as a head coach. And I said this, for weeks and months and last year. I mean, do I really want to? Does a guy like Todd Bowles make me want to run through a wall for him? I want coaches like that. Bruce Arians was a great head coach. Bruce Arians would make you run through a wall for him. John Gruden. I know that's that 2-letter word that people don't like, Bucks fans. Especially Bucks fans, John Gruden. But he did. He makes you want to play for him. Todd Bowles, he's just a nice guy. He's not a great motivator, though. Even when you hear him in interviews, it's kind of plain. But he's a great defensive coordinator, so we'll see how he does. I mean, I'm not, he's going to be here this year, so we'll see what happens. And you know who else is here this year and right now? A good friend of mine. He's all the way from Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring this man in. He's a good friend of mine. He is from Arkansas, or as they say, Arkansas. That's Arkansas in the South. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marty McKnight. Marty, thanks for tuning in. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for bringing me in. I'm just drinking beer and talking. Hold on. I butchered my own catchphrase.
Oh, Marty.
Talking sports and drinking beer.
That's what I want to hear.
There we go. I haven't done it. I'm a little rusty. I haven't been on too many shows here lately.
I understand. That happens. But man, what is going on with Marty McKnight? What is going on in the world of Marty right now?
Well, see, work has been chaotic, and my truck is trying to break on every possible ways. Other than that, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes and watching football and the Astros. That's about it.
Well, I like everything but the last thing you said. So,
didn't we beat you guys in the World Series, by the way?
Cheated? Yes, you did. And you banned garbage cans. Yeah, I get that. But but if you say Astros 17 or 18 more times, I'm gonna have to kick you out of here, man. All right.
Astros.
Okay, that's 15 more, man. You're pushing it. No. Dude, okay, so we got our Bucks. We're playing the Jets tomorrow night, man. Now we know that Russell Gage is out for the year. That's a bad injury. But I'm really liking this Trey Palmer guy, man. He's really lighting it up in training camp. Do you think he could be hurt? Yes.
Very promising so far from the first preseason game and what I've seen on highlights on practice. Very promising. The one
Yeah.
problem I had with the first preseason game is the penalties. I was pretty pissed off with the amount of penalties we had.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have penalties on the first preseason game for every team, but to
Mhm.
have 14 on us and three of them was declined, it could have been 16, 17, and a touchdown taken away from us.
Yeah.
That shows lack of discipline. That goes to the head coach. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the head coach right there.
Sure. I mean, and that's fair to say. I think also my issue though, Marty, too, was Luke Gadecki. Now there are some people that say he actually did pretty well, but from what I saw, I mean the film don't lie. I mean, he was getting dominated by a second string, defensive end pretty much all game. That scares me a little bit because you're taking Tristan Wirf's spot now, and we got to rely on you to block Mayfield. Now I get it. Baker's a running quarterback, so he's going to be on his feet more often than Tom Brady has ever been. So, but still, we got to have a healthy offensive line, and we hear the news that Jensen may not even start this season. Week
Yeah,
one.
there's even a rumor that he may not even play this entire season. I mean,
Oh,
that was a couple of rumors that's been floating around. If I'm gonna be honest, if we don't have Jensen to anchor the middle part of the offensive line, we're gonna be into a long season again.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Jensen's the heart and soul right now of that offensive line.
yep. Um, Odette, thank you for tuning in tonight. Rays tied it up with the Angels. Nice. All right.
By the way, Ben, what was the Astros scored?
I don't know. That's the 14 now, so keep pushing it, Marty. Excuse me. Christopher Cole, Razor, my second.
Damn, sound like Rick from Rick and Morty over there.
I know. Do you like that? That's pretty.
Yes, I did.
Similar light. Similar light. Christopher Cole, Rays are my second team. Go Cubs, go! Yeah. Hey man, the Cubs. They're in second place. They might make the playoffs. That's pretty nice. I like that.
The Cubs are a team that everybody wants to root for. No, I mean, there's not really nobody on this planet that just despises the Cubs unless you're a Cardinal fan.
Oh, that's true. And that's Mr. Alex Schomburg. Shout out to him. He's a Cardinals fan as well. And Scott Taylor, both Cardinals
Gross.
fans. So, yeah, I know.
As an Astro fan, that this does not count, this comment, but I despise the Cardinals when we played in the NL against the Cardinals in that division.
That's right. Yep. We were in the
I
NL Central.
still despise Albert Pujols for the many childhood traumas he gave me.
Ooh, damn. Well, I mean, he was a great player now. Come on. I mean, you got to throw a little respect at him, you know?
Yeah, some, but as an Angel player, not a Cardinal player.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm a Dodger fan, and, we've been on a roll lately. That doesn't mean we're going to win a World Series, but I'm just saying we're pretty much taking control of our division. Now, I think the best team in baseball are the Atlanta Braves, but once we get to the playoffs, it's a different game. Let's see how it turns out. I cannot wait. But back to football, we'll talk more Bucks. I mean, yeah, that's scary, man, to think that Ryan Jensen may not be able to start week one. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ah,
I mean, we need him. I mean,
oh,
we're
yeah.
right already. We're not looking too good on the offensive line. We need someone that's solid. That's going to put a little bit of attitude to that offensive line and a little bit of leadership. Right now, there's lack of leadership right now on the whole offensive front itself,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
that's
you got Evans, you got Godwin, but there's not that true leader. Jensen is that leader when it comes to the offensive line. He is the voice and he is the attitude, and we need that.
right. And we didn't have it last year. I mean, see, that's what people forget too, Marty, when he was out with an injury. It's not that he didn't just play, but his presence, that makes that team nastier was missing.
Mhm.
I mean, and, it just was not the same. I mean, amazingly, we won that division with just 8 wins. I mean, any other division, we've been probably not even made the playoffs. So,
True.
yeah, this year.
Okay,
Now,
I'm gonna ask your opinion right now. I mean, it's only preseason week one, but right now, out of the four teams in the NFC South, which team looked more impressive? And I have my pick, and I don't want to say it, but I want to hear your pick first.
Oh, does nobody count? I would probably say maybe not by much, but the Saints. Just
That's what I was thinking.
okay, Derek Carr had a great first drive on that opening series. You know, if Derek Carr can do that, because he's been inconsistent throughout his career, he's had some great moments with the Raiders, but if he
Hmm.
can do that, yeah, I think we're in trouble because now Kamara's going to be suspended for 3 games, but they still got Chris Olave, and if Michael Thomas can ever stay healthy and show that he can, yeah, stay healthy and make a few catches, ugh, that Saints offense can light it up. But again, this whole division's not very good. Let's be
No.
honest, it's just not. So I think anybody's going to be in it this year. Even Carolina will probably be in it. They almost won the division last year after they had a
Yeah.
terrible start. So
They upgraded from all their free agents, and it was kind of a big surprise on how poorly they played on their first preseason game. The offensive line looked like kind of like what we're dealing with right now.
yeah, Bryce Young got eaten up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if they don't fix their hiccups on the offensive line, I don't see Bryce Young making it through the season. I give him to week 10, and he's going to suffer a major injury. I hope not, but their offensive line looks kind of like trash right now.
Yeah, and it's a newer line. I think they got a couple new guys on there. It'll take time, but I am encouraged that our defense. Listen, I think our defense can at least win us a few games, but it's our offense that I worry about. That's what I worry about. Yeah, we got Baker. Baker's going to start. Let's not. I know people want Trask to start, and everything. I get that.
I don't. I want Baker. I've been seeing Trask preseason last 3 seasons now. There's
Yeah.
nothing there that has impressed me and showed me that he can be a starter. I haven't been sold yet on this. I
Well,
would have took Blaine Gabbert over Trask if they would have brought back Blaine Gabbert. I would have been okay with him being the starting quarterback.
I'd rather have Trask or Gabbert. I mean, no, it's
I
just
would have took Gabbert.
okay. Fair enough. I just he hasn't had enough time. That's the other thing with Trask. Tom Brady did kind of fuck the team over by coming back last year after he said he retired. There were plans that Trask was going to get the nod, but so now that's another year he had to sit in the background. But yeah, I mean, when Blaine Gabbert was your number 2 and Trask was your number 3, yeah, that then I was thinking, maybe there's just not enough trust in this guy. Maybe there's coaches don't see him as somebody that can start, in this league for their team. And plus, we got to remember, this is a division where it's up for grabs, and I think they want somebody with experience to come in there and lead the offense, and that's why they signed Baker Mayfield. So, if this was a rebuilding project, then yeah, Trask might be the guy that starts. But to me, Baker Mayfield's going to be the guy. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of Baker. But if
Me
he can
neither.
manage the game, not turn the ball over because he's got weapons, and if that offensive line can stay healthy and play good, then he'll do good. He'll be fine. But it's when he takes those chances, Marty, when he makes those throws off his feet. We've seen that with another Bucks quarterback before Brady got to town. So there are some similarities. We'll see what happens. It's going to be Baker, and we'll see how far this goes. Now, if the Bucks, let's say they go 1-3, 0-4, God forbid, we could see a quarterback change.
I think we're going to see a quarterback change and a coaching change. If we go 0-4, 0-5 to start the season, I can see Todd Bowles being let go and go to Kyle Trask to just tank. But you know who Baker Mayfield reminds me of?
Who's that?
Mayfield reminds me of Jeff Garcia. Just the style of play, the mobility, and they can extend the play, take a hit. But they both have one thing in common. They both take too many hits. Both can be turnover prone
Yeah.
and can miss games. I mean, when Garcia was with us back in 2007, 2008,
Yep.
He missed tons of games. I mean, same way with Mayfield. He take too many hits because his style of play, he's not going to play a full season.
Right, and there is similarities. And that's a great point, Marty, because you look at Jeff Garcia and Baker Mayfield. Also, when Jeff came into the league, or to the Bucks, I should say, in 2007 and 2008. What was that? Anyway, 2007, 2008, the Bucks were in a division that wasn't very good either. The Falcons were rebuilding. The Saints they were pretty good then, but the Panthers were kind of on the downslide with the Jake Delhomme era. So there are some similarities there, and timing as well with Garcia and Baker Mayfield. So it is a very good comparison there, Mr. Marty. And let's see, Christopher Cole says Baker's the only quarterback to win a playoff game in the division, which is very, very true. That is 100% correct. When he did it with the Browns back in 2019. Or was it 2020? I think it was 2020, but
2020.
2020. Thank you. So yeah, that is a true statement. So he does have that experience. Again, he just has to take care of the football, and we have to have our offensive line stay healthy and be a cohesive unit throughout the year. And hopefully Goedeke plays a much better game tomorrow night. I want to see improvement from him, but we only have 3 games, preseason games. So I don't know, man. But from what we heard this week with the Bucks and Jets joint practices, like I said before, we were really dominating the Jets offensive line. So I expect to see the Bucks defense, their starters, they're going to play a few snaps, do the same thing. And I'm just hoping that we get 1 or 2 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, because I would love to see that.
I think Johnny would love that too.
Oh, the old guy. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Johnny Dean. Shout out to him. He's taking a little sabbatical. He's got some personal stuff going on, but we wish him the best.
Yep. Hope everything's up, Johnny. You're in my thoughts, bud.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah. What else is going on with you, Marty? What's going on in Arkansas?
It's hot as hell right now. My truck is about to break on every possible way, and I'm out of beer and back to Ben.
Well, I mean, that is the Arkansas way of life, isn't it? Beer, trucks, and cigarettes.
Pretty much, unless your truck's trying to break, then it kind of puts a damper. And it's not because it was a Dodge. She's just old.
Well, yeah. I got an older truck too, but still, it is what it is. And as long as we got transportation, that's the most important thing, right?
That's
Now, I live in a city, Marty, but I know you live on the outskirts, so you have really got to have a vehicle,
I mean, the roads here where I live at, you have to have a vehicle that can take potholes so big you can go fishing in. The roads down here are terrible.
When's the last time they ever did construction there? Was that in the 80s or?
The last time they did construction where I live at, I think it was in the 70s.
Oh, damn, even worse.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Week 1 preseason, one team or one player that impressed you from the first week of preseason?
Now, are we talking about the Bucks?
Just anybody that kind of stand out is like, oh, dang, well, that more than I expect. Like, okay, I'm going to put it like this. Impressed you in a good way or bad way that you was like, hey, that was pretty good, or like, damn, I was expecting you to play a little bit better, like a little bit overhyped.
Well, I think the one that impressed me was Trey Palmer. Just, out of Nebraska, wide receiver, the speed. Looked like he ran his routes pretty well. Him and Baker, it seemed like they have good chemistry, every time they were playing together. So, and he's really impressed. Now with the Russell Gage injury, this opens up a slot perhaps. Now, I said earlier on the show that maybe they'll look for a veteran wide receiver, maybe. But if Palmer has another good game tomorrow night, Marty, and the next week, I mean,
He's going to be the third. Yeah, he's going to be the slot receiver.
Yeah, that's going to fill in nicely for Russell Gage, assuming that he keeps up his great play. I think he'll make the team anyway, but man, if he has more games like that, by the way, that catch in the end zone is great. Keeping his feet.
Oh, yeah. The toe tap and everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent ball by Baker and excellent catch. That was
it was either going to be a catch or an incomplete pass. So that was a nice shot there. Yeah, so he's impressed me. The one, again, haven't watched too many preseason games. I'm not going to say who. Maybe it's because of the hype. CJ Stroud. In his first game, he had like nervous feet. I could see his eyes even. I like to look at rookies' eyes, like the quarterbacks especially. Look in their eyes. Stroud looked nervous. And I think he realized how, damn, the NFL speed is a lot faster than the college speed. And he was getting torn. Bill Belichick, I guarantee you, before the game started, he told the defense, you blitz this guy. Blitz, blitz, blitz. You put pressure on him, see how he reacts. And CJ drew an interception. He, was just running for his life. He couldn't really gain much yardage, even on the run. And it's throwing a lot of incomplete passes. So that's what he didn't really impress me. But at the same time, I got to remember it's one game. This is his very first game. Let's see how he does tomorrow. Forget who they play. I think it's Miami or something. I forget who it is, but we'll see what he can do. I would go with Davis Mills to start the season, and then you can slowly put CJ in.
Yeah, I agree. By week 5 or week 6, put him in.
Especially if Houston's struggling again. You got nothing to lose at that point. You see what he can do. And I'll tell you another thing that did not impress me, Marty, was they automatically named Anthony Richardson the starter for the Colts. Now you bring in Gardner Minshew, veteran backup. I would have liked to seen a little more competition. Again,
yeah, Minshew's got experience. If I remember correctly, did he or did he not play in a postseason game?
I believe so.
I thought he did at one point. I can't remember. I want to say it's Philadelphia. I could be wrong on that. But Minshew he's got talent. He just hasn't really had the opportunity or the chance to actually show it.
Right. Yeah, and I'm just a little surprised that they already threw Anthony Richardson. They said you're starting. So yeah, that's let me get to this comment real quick, Christopher Cole. Yeah, all Tompkins does is catch the ball. Yeah, he's done really well as well. So it could be either one of those guys, Palmer or Tompkins. It could be that third guy. I could see Tompkins being like our kick returner. That's possible.
Yeah.
Or Palmer, because Palmer's got the speed.
Well, the player that came across me this week that was very disappointing, Trey Lance.
He was bad.
What is going on with San Francisco and Trey Lance? He looked good last preseason. If I remember correctly, he played a few games last season. Yeah. I think he might have started in week 1, I think. I could be wrong on that.
Yes. And that rain. Remember that rain game, Marty?
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't play that bad. And then week 2, I think it was was it the Seahawks game, I think? He got injured.
He got injured and was out for the season. But good Lord, all this stuff that talked about Trey Lance was going to be their franchise quarterback. What in the hell are they doing with Trey Lance? What is going on?
I think, well, here's what's bad, Marty, is that they traded up for him a couple of years ago. They traded to get to the third overall pick. Now, they did luck in with Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, but we got to see what Brock does this year. He had a great freshman year in the NFL. Now we got to see what he can do, especially off the elbow injury. He has been cleared to play, but I want to see what Purdy can do. The 49ers, it's amazing, Marty, that the only thing that's kept them from winning or going to a Super Bowl lately has been the quarterback. Everything else has been the offense.
Exactly.
The Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk. George Kittle, and then their offensive line with Trent Williams. I mean, and their defense, Dre Greenlaw. Um, they and then Topanga, Tafanga. I think that's the safety. I call him Little Troy Polamalu because he plays like him. I mean, their defense has been great. It's just they haven't gotten over the top. And if they would have, Purdy didn't get hurt last year before the championship game, I think they would have beat the Eagles in Philly. They would have went.
You know who they remind me of right now? The Niners.
Yeah,
they remind me of the Bucks of the late '90s before the John Gruden coaching change. Dominant defense, but never had that quarterback to actually get them over the hump. Will make the playoffs, get deep in the playoffs, but always get beat at year in and year out. That's who the Niners remind me of right now. It's just they have if they had a dominant quarterback, or even a quarterback that was like a game manager, they would be already been in a couple of Super Bowls.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. I mean, they should have been there a couple of years ago. Remember when the Niners cornerback, I think Trufant or Truppet or something like that, he dropped an interception that would have ended the game against the Rams, but it gave the Rams new life. And Stafford went down the field. They got a touchdown late, and they they went on to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, unfortunately, I have to bring this up. The Rams beat the Bucks that year.
Yeah, that was Todd Bowles making the whole that whole play was a whole botch. I couldn't blame. I think it was Winfield. You couldn't blame Winfield on that. That was Todd Bowles sending pressure, a blitz, and leaving his men exposed in case something happened. That was Todd Bowles being stupid on that play.
Yeah, and well, I mean, we should have really never been in that game. We were down like 27-3 though, too, so they dominated us from the start, but we did make a hell of a comeback, especially.
Yeah, and that goes to Tom Brady, in the heart of Tom Brady.
Defense in the second half. We got to remember too that they got a couple of fumbles in that game. So Mike Evans beat Jalen Ramsey on a touchdown late to tie it up, I believe. So, yeah, that's some bad memories. But anyway, so the Niners, they've just been so close, but they haven't been able to close the door. And I mentioned earlier, kind of like the Buffalo Bills. You wonder if that window is starting to kind of slide down just a little bit.
I think so. I mean, because you're going to start having salary cap issues, like with the Niners, with the Buffalo Bills. You're soon fixing to have these salary cap issues with the Bengals, the Chiefs. Somehow, or some way, they don't have major issues. But that because of Patrick Mahomes' contract, that's going to catch up to them. You got all these teams that they're on their little window of winning championships are slowly going to close until it slams shut because they sold their soul to the devil to give these massive contracts to these big star players, and they're producing. But once you start kind of not having money to sign your offensive line, your defensive line, wide receivers, it makes it tougher on you. And these teams, like the Bills, I think they got 2 more seasons. They got this year and next year for a title, and then it's going to be hard for them.
I agree. And don't forget, Marty, look at the Eagles. We not just players, but coaches, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. They'll go get jobs as head coaches for other teams. So you lose those guys like the Eagles did. They lost Jonathan Gannon, their offense or defensive coordinator, goes to Arizona. He's the head coach now. They lost their offensive coordinator. He went to the Colts. So you don't just lose players, you can lose coaches, coordinators on that staff that were very vital. To look at Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy's now with the Commanders as their OC, and he'll probably be their next head coach, I'm assuming, if Ron Rivera doesn't do well this year. And so, we'll see how Mahomes does with the new coordinator. I think it's Matt Nagy, the former Bears coach. So, but they got Andy Reid. I mean, that Reid-Mahomes combination is what Belichick and Brady were. So,
Yeah, I don't see Andy Reid though being there the entire career of Patrick Mahomes. I just don't see that.
No, I don't either. But Mahomes still going to play another 10 years. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it's still a credible combination, coach, player, quarterback. So, as you've seen on the docuseries Quarterback on Netflix, by the way, um, you just have a dynamic relationship. And yeah, you're not always going to win Super Bowls, and Patrick's won two. He's won two of them already. He's been to 3.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that one he lost was to, who? We shut him down. So, I mean,
We did. We kind of beat the brakes off of them.
yeah, we beat the crap out of them. They didn't score a touchdown on us.
I'm going to throw a team that's going to be primed right now with all the rookie contracts they have. I'm going to give you a team that they have actually a legit, not maybe a Super Bowl contender, but be a team that's going to be good for next 3 seasons, maybe 4, without any salary cap issues. I'm going to Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think you're wrong on that. Look, Trevor Lawrence had a bounce back year. You got the right coach with him now, Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And he helped Nick Foles win a Super Bowl. They beat the Patriots. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I think they're going to win that division. Tennessee's, unless
not with Tannehill, they're
No,
not going to win the division with Tannehill.
all you have is Derrick Henry. You take him out, that's it. The Colts, they're kind of rebuilding. Texans are rebuilding. So this is Jacksonville's year to win that division and, maybe go far in the postseason. We'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, I think they're going to be really good. Trevor Lawrence just has to stay healthy. He has to play well. But if they do that, their defense has to play well as well. So, I'm excited to see how Jacksonville does. It's going to be a tougher schedule because, they won their division, so they get the first place schedule, playing the first place teams. Kansas City. They're going to be playing Buffalo. So, Cincinnati. I mean, they're going to be playing first place teams, so their schedule is going to be a little tougher. But I think you're right. I mean, I think they're one of those teams that can do some damage the next few years and maybe surpass a team like Buffalo or a Cincinnati if they can stay healthy and, their defense, plays well and shuts down these quarterbacks. Because in that AFC, Marty, I mean, you're looking at all these quarterbacks: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it is
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, that's Justin Herbert, the Chargers. So it's a quarterback galore, man, in that conference. So it's very vital for the Jags or any team in the AFC to have a good defense, a really good defense.
Here's an unpopular opinion. I think there's actually one quarterback in the AFC is actually on the hot seat, not to be released or traded, just more like, okay, we gave you what you want. Now you need to produce, or you're going to you're going to look like a fraud or overrated. I think Lamar Jackson has got a good bit of pressure on him. He got what he wanted. He has yet to really put the Ravens over the top. He's been in the league for what, 4 seasons?
I think this will be his 5th or 6th
Fifth
year.
season? Yeah. But he has not really done anything like Josh Allen. Josh Allen has put the Bills in the conference championship game and won playoff games. Lamar Jackson has not.
Joe Burrow won the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow won the Super Bowl already. And he went to the conference
title. There's going to be some pressure. With that contract he signed, there's going to be some pressure that he needs to put up or shut up.
Right. And he has as many playoff wins as Trevor Lawrence.
One, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. There is a lot of pressure on him. I think now that he's going to have a different offensive coordinator, Johnny's favorite team, finally left. Yeah, I had to do that. Maybe that'll help him. He's got some weapons now. Odell Beckham's there. We'll see. He's got a great tight end. I forget his name off the top of my head. Heap, yeah,
Heap. Yeah.
yeah. So and they got to have a good offensive line. The defense will be there, but the offensive line has to help him out too. And yeah, I do agree. I think there is going to be pressure on him. He's got to start showing it in the playoffs. And same with Justin Herbert. You know, he's got to show something. Now's the time. Trevor Lawrence just got ahead of you as far as playoff wins go. He beat you last year in that comeback game. Chargers and Jaguars. So yeah, this is going to be a fun year in the AFC. It's going to be very competitive. The NFC is not looking as good because you only have really two good teams there, Philly and the Niners. Um, Jalen Hurts is probably the best quarterback in the NFC. I mean, but compared to the other quarterbacks in the NFC, that's I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, there's not many star lighted or star studded quarterbacks in the NFC right now. It's just not. I mean, about 3 years ago, yeah, it was with Brady, Rodgers, Breeze.
yep,
Right now, this is just not there anymore. And
nope.
I'm sorry, Scott, Matthew Stafford is not this superstar quarterback anymore.
Yeah, I think his best years are over, but I still think if he stays healthy, he could be a pretty good quarterback. I'll give him that. But again, their offensive line is Swiss cheese as well because they
Mm-hmm.
have to get through that. And Stafford got hurt last year. He was not able to stay healthy. And Baker Mayfield stepped in for him, played pretty well. And
I
they don't,
think Jared Goff might be a dark horse this upcoming season for the Lions.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he'll play good enough. He's not a great quarterback, but if you give him a good offensive line, kind of like Baker, you give him a good line, some weapons. If he can manage the game, they'll be fine. So
Mm-hmm.
he played better too when Dan Campbell, got rid of their one OC, took over the play calling. So he adjusted to Jared Goff's strengths and weaknesses, and he's played much better since. So yeah, I still think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC, but everyone else, it's kind of fighting for number two. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting year in the NFC. I think the NFC, you're going to see better defenses in the NFC, like the Eagles, the Niners. Hell, I'll even throw it in there. The Bucks got a good defense. They can win us some games.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yep.
There's defenses like the Steelers, and even the Raiders' defense is nothing to sneeze at. Their defense is pretty. It's it's tolerable. They won't lose you games as bad as you might think. Like a lot of defenses, even the Raiders are a stout defense.
Well, yes. I mean, they got Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. The secondary's got to get cleaned up, though. They need better play in their
True.
backfield.
And
Um,
Miami has a chance to have a good defense.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Nathan Snell, thank you for tuning in, man. How you doing tonight? By the way, good show you had. Talking about the Commissioner's Cup, my Las Vegas Aces. They lost to the Liberty. I was a little bummed about that, but Liberty are a very good team. Brianna Stewart's probably the MVP right now, I would say. So yeah, but Nate, thank you for tuning in. We're talking about your Ravens, Lamar Jackson, got the new deal. He's gonna big year for him, a new offensive coordinator. Might do him some good. Could really propel that Ravens offense to be better than it was in previous years. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I just can't wait, man. This week we're gonna have some of the starters play, but I think next week will be where you'll see the majority of the starters play, Marty. So, because we only have 3 preseason games now, and we only have one set of roster cuts. Remember how in years past we used to have 1 week where you'd cut the list down from 90 to 70,
Yeah,
70
it
to
went from 90 to 75
yeah,
to 65 to the 55 man roster.
yeah,
Like every week there was a 10 to 20 player cut. Now it's like all at one time.
all at one time, which poses the question: is that a good or bad thing? I mean, does that help coaches out, or
It
because I
gives
feel
players that was cut in week one back in the old days a chance to redeem themselves and actually show that maybe they can play. I mean, it gives players a little more time to show that they belong.
right, and injuries. Like we've seen with Russell Gage now, so that'll open up a spot for somebody else to compete for. And
Yeah, or like Jensen that may or may not start week one or even play this season.
yeah,
Someone that may can play the offensive line can play center.
right, that's true. So I just feel like it does make the coaches' decisions a little tougher because now you got to cut the 40 you're going to leave out rather than a few here and there because you kind of know who you might cut, but there's some, like you said, that are on the bubble and stuff. It makes you think a little more like, ooh, should we? Yeah, but if we don't keep him, you know what I mean? Like it does
Yeah,
make it a little harder for coaches, but I'm anxious to see how they'll play this one out. So it's a very good, interesting perspective here.
yeah. Any idea if Evans or Godwin's going to play tomorrow?
Um, I think they're going to play a series or two, but I don't think it's going to be too much. Um, Again, they want to make sure that we know the traditional Mike hamstring Evans deal. Every year they want to keep those hammies not tighten up. So and Godwin, probably will play a little bit more, but again, I think this is tomorrow. Trask is starting. Kyle
Yeah,
Trask.
and that's my little beef I have about tomorrow. They got Kyle Trask starting if Evan and Godwin's playing.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be fair if you had one series with Trask and then one series with Mayfield, both with the starting wide receivers and starting offensive line? And that would give you a good gauge for week three where you can make a definitive decision who's going to be your starting quarterback because they both play with the number one offense.
yeah. I know it is a little weird. I would think. I mean, now they're saying that they want to give both guys a chance, but I don't know. I still don't think this is a competition. I think it's just they're just saying that to say it, so that way they want to keep it people guessing, but it's you're not guessing. You're not making me guess. I know who it's going to be. So
It's going to be Mayfield
yeah. Right, exactly.
because he can extend plays where Kyle Trask, when he's back in the pocket, he looks like a statue and he looks like a deer in the headlights. He's not ready yet.
Well, and you remember too that Baker didn't have an interception in the first game. Kyle Trask did.
Yep,
So,
he held on the ball way too long.
and he looked at his receiver. He stared him down. And
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
Nathan Snell, 1A and 1B for MVP between
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and
Multiple
Brianna.
times.
Yeah, I mean, they're both playing great. Brianna's just having an unbelievable year, though, Nathan. And this is from an Aces fan saying this. So, I got to be fair and impartial. I love my Asia Wilson, but I gotta be honest. I think it's neck and neck, but I think Brianna has the slight edge. Just saying.
Well, we'll
And
definitely see tomorrow night with how the game plays out.
yeah, did you say Ravens, Nathan? I did. We're just talking about Lamar Jackson, his new contract, and also how he's just got to step up a little bit. And he has one playoff win. Um, he has the same amount of playoff wins as Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence hasn't even gotten paid yet. So wait till he gets his contract. Wait till Joe Burrow gets his contract.
Oh my God, Joe Burrow's probably going to be the highest paid quarterback if he comes back this season and plays like he did last season and the year before.
We're looking 500 million. I mean,
Oh yeah,
600 million because
well, Patrick Mahomes got almost $500 million on his contract.
Right. Yeah, Joe Burrow could get 600 because the money's going to go up in the next several years. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. But man, that's another thing. The money that we're going to be seeing these quarterbacks get the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, we could have our first $1 billion quarterback.
But that would be interesting. Like you see in baseball a lot, players like superstar baseball players getting almost $1 billion.
Otani, they said that his net worth his future net worth could be almost 800 million when his contract's up. Ohtani could get a $800 million contract. Crazy.
Speaking of $1 billion baseball players, didn't the Dodgers give what's his name? Clegg? What was his name? Didn't they give him a big ass contract years ago? He wore number 99, I believe.
No, Yasiel Puig. Yeah.
Yes. How did that work out?
Not well, but
Astros. So how many I got
so,
left now?
well,
I got 11 more Astros 10 more comments.
Yeah, 10 more comments. We're gonna I mean, but come on, look what you had. You had Jeff Steroid Bagwell, like, dude, that
Hey, don't talk shit about Jeff Bagwell. He was one of my favorite baseball players as a kid. Hey, now. Didn't we beat the Dodgers in the World Series a couple years ago?
What about Ken Caminiti, the wife beater or whatever? Like,
yeah.
I can't talk about the dead. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I gotta be respect. I'm not gonna pick on anybody that's not with us anymore. But yeah, I mean,
true.
But yeah, and you got, how tall is Jose? Is he Olave? Is he taller than your leg, Marty? I don't even think he's taller.
He's like 5 foot nothing.
Yeah,
he's short.
yeah.
I think that's why they put that microphone in his jersey when they claimed that we was cheating in 2020. Because he's so damn short, no one recognized he had a freaking speaker in his jersey.
Well, at least you admitted it. I respect you for that, Marty.
Yeah, we probably did, but we still won that World Series over your team.
Well, you can thank Yu Darvish for Game 7. He was tipping his pitches.
Yeah. Well, here I gotta run here in a second, Ben. It's been over an hour.
Marty, thank you for coming on, bro. I mean,
yeah, no problem.
Fun tonight. We're probably gonna wrap this one up anyway. But Marty, where can we find you at, man? I mean, I know you got a lot going on, and I mean, besides here, where else can we find you?
Working on my truck.
Good enough. All right.
And drinking beer. I can't forget that. I drink beer and work on my truck and wonder why I have a Dodge.
And watching football, right?
Yep. Drinking beer or watching football and drinking beer.
Boom. All right. Marty, thank you for coming on tonight, man. I appreciate it. It was fun talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Catch y'all later.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep.
Bye. All right, guys. That was Marty McKnight, a good friend of mine from Arkansas. Man, he's on the NFL edition as well. Sometimes he'll be on there, as we are on every Thursday nights. So, with that being said, everybody, we're going to wrap this baby up. But this has been a fun episode of Have At It, and we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody, take care. Have a good night. And please like and subscribe and share this show. My social media handles are right up there on it used to be Twitter, now it's X, BennyBoy702. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's on my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015, and on my Facebook group at the Ben Zone. But if you're not in the Ben Zone group and you're a friend of mine on Facebook, it'll also be on my personal page as well. So everybody, enjoy the weekend and enjoy the football. And we will see you next time on Have At It. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.